What's good, good people? Welcome to hashtag My Be More Project. What's the 410? Where we stand in the gap of the news you can use and the positive stories that our spirits need. I'm your host, Dion Joyner Weems. It's like a tribe called Quest. You got to say it all together. And though I wear many hats, they all sit on top of the same mission to uplift, amplify, and empower Baltimore's truth tellers and change makers. Whether that's through hashtag My Be More Project, my book, That Part, what some know but won't tell you about motherhood, or as the CEO of Audacity Group, a global marketing shop, we tell bold stories of impact. And in 2022, we learned what you and I already know. People trust people more than they do the system. So that's why we center the voices on the ground doing the work, like Jaela, young Elder Morris, artist, social worker, and youth advocate. Let's bring her up, shall we?
What's up, y'all? This is long overdue. This is long overdue.
Jaela, you are thebomb.com. Thebomb.com. And I want to, before we jump into the questions, I want to give your bio, but this bio is, we call this like our verbal flowers. So if you don't mind, if I can share this with you and you let me know how it goes, okay? You ready?
Yes, please.
Jaela Young Elder Morris is what happens when wisdom meets rhythm and service wears sneakers. A daughter of Baltimore, Jaela is a healer, a barber, a poet, and a purpose walker who moves with the kind of grace you can't fake. From cutting hair to cutting through generational trauma, she's earned every stripe, graduating from Coppin State University, pursuing her master's of social work, and pouring into the next generation like someone once poured into her. Known in the streets and in the classroom, she's love in motion. Whether she's building community through HeartSmiles or spitting truth as young elder, her power is undeniable because when Jaela speaks, Baltimore listens. When she shows up, Baltimore rises. What do you think of that?
Yo, how much you charge for that? Whoa. The first line took me out. Like that was beautiful. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time to put that together. Because a lot of times people ask for a bio and you don't know where to start. You don't know what to say. So when someone crafts something like that, it means a lot. And it's something that I'm gonna hold on to. And when I start to get confused, yeah, the part where you said pour into others the way that I was poured into, no, I feel that heavy right now. For real. For real. So every word of that was put together. Grace, yes, the grace, Lord. Hey,
Woo! Don't get me started talking in tongues. And we're about to dive into that. But before we do, we like to give people a little taste of the personality behind the title, behind the profession, okay? So we call this segment They Ate, where we ask you 8 rapid fire questions. Don't overthink it. Just say what comes to mind. You ready?
all right. 8, let's go.
Crab cake, fried or broiled?
Fried,
Nickname your parents or friends used to call you?
Jayla Payla.
Name one song on your Get Pumped, Amp, Fired Up playlist. What you putting on when you need to get?
Shine by D Smoke. Yeah, I'm gonna put y'all on.
Worst thing a client can say after the cut is done?
Actually, can you change it? Like, can you can
That's the
can you
worst.
change it? Like,
Just anything of a change is like, Would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
probably not.
I love it. Would you rather preach from the stoop or perform on a stage?
I'm gonna have to say the stage for this one.
All right. What's your favorite word that feels like a hug?
Purpose. Purpose.
If you had 25 hours in a day, what would you do with that extra hour?
I would spend more time with my family. Was
First
that
of
eight?
all, she ate. She
I
ate. You ate. And let
ate.
me tell you, that was one of the most grounded day eights ever. Like, let
What?
me. So, hats off to you. Let's jump into the conversation. All right. Where did young elder come from? And what does it mean to wear a name like that?
Hmm. Thank you for this question, and I love this question. The name was given to me by my cousin. His name is Unsangu. He changed his name to his African name. And when I was 16, he just came to me because I was rapping, and he said, "Yeah, your name Young Elder." And I was like, "Huh?" And he said, "Yeah, you young but you wise." But mind you, I'm like 14, 15 at the time, so I'm like, I'm not wise. I'm not. But it was like he prophesied over me. Like he said, like, you are young, but you are wise. And I was like, okay, sure. And then later on down the line, I was like, wait, like I think I'm young elder. And then when I really started taking music seriously, I was like, everybody, you gotta have a rap name, right? So I'm like, it's gonna be young elder. But now what the name means for me now is it I feel like it changes. Like at first, like once I started to really get into it, I started to embrace like, yes, I am young, but I'm wise because I've been poured into, like I've
Mhm.
gained so much wisdom. It's not that I'm wise. It's not that I'm wise. I've had the opportunity to gain so much wisdom. But what it means for me now is it's not even really a name anymore. It's more of a mindset. Meaning
Mm.
the young people that I'm working with, like you're a young elder too. You're young but you're wise. Like you're wise because you've gained this wisdom. Young elder, I don't see it as a individual
Mhm.
persona. I
Mhm.
see it as like we can be young elders together, like in a way. Before it was just me, but now I feel like it's kind of growing out a little bit more, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
So here it is, a name was prophesied and given to you, poured into you, and now that is what you continue to do with young people through your name, and the name is a symbol that all young people can claim and hold on to. So no, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense to me. um Here's the deal, even in your bio, you carry so many titles: barber, artist, social worker, mentor. Which one surprises people the most, and which one do you hold most sacred?
Um, hmm, it's a good question.
Damn right it is.
That's a good question because honestly, like with this question, I would have to say, like, preface with when we thinking about HeartSmiles and we thinking about young elder and this characteristic, or this, I wouldn't even say persona, this identity that I have developed. It's it's like, they say a master of many crafts is, what they say, a
A
jack of all
master
trades is a master of none. But
one.
that's
Mhm.
not true though. And when I first started and I met Miss Joni, the first thing she said to me was like, you are the business. So it just kind of showed me like I can do whatever I want. I can rap, I can cook, I can put my hands in all of these different buckets, and like I have the ability to. And then once I don't want to do it no more, I can just do something else. As long as you finish, you got to finish.
Ah, that's the part though.
Can't just leave it all out, right? You got to
Right,
finish it. Once you finish
right,
with it, you can be done with it. You don't have to go
right,
back.
right. No, that's, and HeartSmiles, jumping ahead, share with me the organization. How did you come to be? Explain to those who are just finding out about it through you right now. What is it?
Cool. So I'm gonna try not to go on a tangent. I've told the story before, so I try to like keep it
Be
concise.
honest. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
I met Miss Joni, the founder of Heart Smiles, when I was at one of the lowest points of my life. I didn't really know I was low, but I was an adolescent. I had just got kicked out of the school that I wanted to go to, which was a private school, and I got sent to my zone school, which was Forest Park. And I wasn't ready for it. I was, y'all, oh my God, I was smoking before I was going to school. Like, I wasn't doing my homework. I was leaving school. Like, I just was all over the place. And I met Miss Joni, and she met me and she said, "What you want to do?" And I said, I like to rap. And she said, cool, that's your business. And I was like, wait, that's not a business. I'm not selling nothing. And she was like, you are the business. And ever since then, like everything just switched. You know, she taught me how to be a leader, how to have hard conversations, how to
Mm.
be disciplined, how to sacrifice, how to show up when you don't want to show up, how to work with somebody you hate. Like she
Mhm.
all the core values that have like built me into this person that I am today. And she doesn't like to take the credit for it because I guess essentially it wasn't her, it was God. But God sent her into my life. And like the one thing that I felt like really helped shape me is when I was a young person and I was working in an organization, even when I would mess up, yeah, it would be a consequence, but it would be graceful. Like it would never be, oh, because you messed up, I'm gonna get in the way of your money. Or I'm not gonna let you do this opportunity because I'm mad at you. Like it was never like that. It was never anything like that. It was all extra love. She went above and beyond. And the one thing I would have to say, aside from like the character development that HeartSmiles targeted, was what something that's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And
Yes.
yes, and it targeted on all different levels because it's this belief that in order for somebody to reach what is called self-actualization, which is what I'm doing right now, which is pursuing my crafts, pursuing my talents, I have to have a certain level of needs that have to be met for me to even get to that point. And Heart Smiles met every need, from safety, from having a place to be, from community, from having a ride home to a hot meal, all esteem. I felt seen. I felt heard. All of these things, aside from the things that Miss Joni did, helped me become who I can be. Because all of the young people in Baltimore, they want to chase their dreams just like I do.
Hmm.
They have
Hmm.
dreams, they have passions, they have crazy ideas, but
Hmm.
they're limited because they don't
Hmm.
have their needs met. And then we like, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Let's look at you know.
Yo, can I so my father, who it has been 6 months since my father transitioned, and every day his words ring out in my ear. And one of them, I remember growing up, my father would often say that here it is, you can't beat a man over the head about what he needs to do, what he's not doing, if he hasn't eaten, if he
Mm,
has no place to live. If you are not able to satisfy your basic needs, how dare you expect anything more? And talking about that hierarchy of needs. So I appreciate hearing that. And it's even more powerful hearing it from a younger person, because you're able to turn around and the name of my company is Audacity, right? It's high frequency audacity. Until we're able to meet people where they are, don't try to pull people to another place. And I respect how you phrased that. Can you
I
share more with
thank
Heart Styles? One, if you could describe, without using joy, without using smile, describe Heart Smiles. What is this organization, and what are those lessons again that young people are leaving or picking up there?
Um, honestly, if I can't use joy, I can't use smile. It's stuck between family and home because I feel like those two go together. I feel like sometimes even when, because I'm 23 now, so I'm not a mentee. So I'm working, I'm going to school, I'm exploring these different aspects of my career, but I always know I can go home.
Wow.
Like I can go home. I can go to Heart Smiles, whether we're renting in someone else's building, whether we're in our own building with roaches, because we are surrounded by roaches. Because that's how, yeah. Because when you're doing great work, they put you in a messed up spot. So, but
Stop
I
it.
know that, huh?
No, I'm like, but why is that though? Because here it is, you're doing the heart work in uncomfortable spaces.
Yeah. But although I go through the valley of the shadow of death,
Oh, I should fear no evil. for your
I ain't
family.
scared of no roach.
Oh, come on, all of it. So,
So Heart
but,
Smiles is family. Heart Smiles is home. Heart Smiles is where I feel seen, where I feel heard, where I'm always reminded, like you said, those flowers. Miss Joni, she get the best hugs. You know, those hugs that remind you of who you are. If I ever need a reminder of who the F I am, it's
come
called
on.
Miss Joni. She will remind me very quickly, very quickly. And it's like I need that as a young person in a world where I'm getting so many mixed signals. Everybody's telling me different things. You got to be this. You got to be that. If you're not doing this, how you don't have 100,000 by 15? Like, you know, all of these different things. But I always had a place where I didn't feel judged. I didn't feel like ridiculed. I didn't feel any of that. I felt only love. And even when it was harsh love, it was real. Like
Hmm.
you could tell the real from the fake. I could tell. Miss Dion, can you tell the real from the fake?
And in Baltimore, we can smell authenticity, and we know
How
when
long?
you're not
How
real.
long it take for you to tell?
My granny used to say, before you meet a person, your spirits meet. And if your spirits aren't in agreement, you know. So it's a level of discernment. And when you're walking by faith, you're able to know that immediately. That discern, it's an immediate feeling. And what's interesting to me, young elder, is for you, you're 23 years old. I'm curious of what lessons you've learned from other young people.
What?
Can
Yes.
you share? Because that I find that's what's interesting. I've talked to a lot. Easy Jackson was just on here, and he was talking about beats not bullets, and how stop talking at young people. You really need to listen because these are so smart, well lived. So I'm just curious. To go
Yes.
deeper. What lessons have you learned so that we can listen deeper?
So, in order to speak on this, I would definitely have to preface with when I first started working with Heart Smiles, I started volunteering at this school called Matthew A. Henson. This was in 2021. I met this kid. His name was Marmar, and he was in and out of school, like all of the things that you can imagine of a young boy in Baltimore going through. He went through it, and I tried my best to stay connected with him. And 5 years later, he in high school now, and even when I was going to Coppin and he wasn't in school, he would come up to Coppin and I would cut his hair. So we just built like this relationship, like this mentorship that like nothing can break it for real. And he has taught me so much about young people that I thought I knew, right? Because I thought, by the time you get 23, you're not young no more. You for real. Miss Dion, I'm not lying to you. I'm not as young as I thought I was young. I'm not.
Okay,
I
no,
got
we're
W, I got W with Riz, right? He has
not.
taught me
Keep
so much.
going. Yes, yes.
And one thing that he always says in reference to young people in Baltimore, he says, "Don't tell me what to do if you're not offering me no alternative." And he's like, "I'm talking about a real alternative." He said, "I'm talking about." He's 14. He said, "Wrap around." He's thinking about all of those needs because he's saying, "You want me to come to your program? What about when I go home?" And he's very adamant about young people. He said to me, he said, "Young people need somebody to check on them." He said, like, why is nobody asking me what am I doing? Where are you going? Right? Hey, one of those.
Yeah,
Oh, what are you about to
yeah.
go get into? He's like,
Mm.
I need that. Kids need that. He said, if you don't want your kid to get in trouble, you have to make sure they don't get in trouble. And it's like, it's nobody really leaning in, nobody really being there to do what the little things.
May I ask you, what do you, not speaking for anyone, right? So I'm
Yeah.
just going off of lived experience. And I've heard people speak of, young people, they just don't listen like they used to. There's a certain level of fear
Yeah.
to, when I was growing up, there was a Miss Janice down the street was just as quick to pull up someone on the corner, whether it was her child or not, versus 20 years later, where you can get cursed out, jumped, or anything else, what do you say to those who hold on to, well, I'm fearful. I'm scared to.
Yeah. I I completely understand. One thing that I have realized now, like I said, I met this young man in 2021. It's 2025. And to this day, when we hang out, he's telling me stuff. He's telling me all of this stuff that I don't ask. I don't ask. I let it come,
I hear you.
right? I'm not asking because sometimes when you're in such a tender moment like that, you don't want nobody to ask because I don't really have an answer for you, right? So, and it's so crazy because the other day I said to him, "How was school?" He said, "It was cool." I was like, "You can't give me no more than that?" He was like, "If it was a problem, I would say it was a problem. But it's no problem. So if it's cool, that means it's good." Cool.
Receive.
Cool. So what you saying is if it's a problem, you gonna let me know. You
Okay.
know? So it's really all about I really had to understand it's not about prying. And
Mm-hmm.
also who am I to tell you what to do if I'm not offering you anything? You know? Like you can't even get me something to eat, like
Oh man. Receive.
stuff like that. And then also like one thing I would say is not making it seem like you helping me is a burden to you or it's an inconvenience to you or or like like
Nobody
I'm
likes to be treated like a charity. No one likes to
nobody
be treated. Mm-mm.
nobody. And it's like
Mm.
I think about the experiences that I've had that I didn't like and I just apply it to how I handle him. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we'll go out here like, "Oh, I got it. Why would you got it? Why would you?" You know what I mean? So just helping young people understand that somebody cares about you. Somebody actually sees you and they see your needs and they're willing to go the extra mile. That
Yeah.
don't mean burn ourselves out, but it's the
Understood.
little things, the little I see yous, the little how you doing, or you sure you okay.
Yeah.
You know the simple
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
The simple
Humanity.
things mean a lot to young people. Apparently, that's one of the lessons that I've learned. Is it means more than we think.
But it's so interesting because it's humanity is very simple. Like it's treating someone the way that you would want to be treated. I'm curious, how do you balance the duality of being young enough to relate and wise enough to lead?
Mm. I would have to say honestly, a lot of that comes from my social work background because I learned a lot. I learned a lot about boundaries. I learned a lot
Mm,
about ethics, how you carry things. Like for example, I was hanging with my mentee yesterday, and I had a lot going on in my life, and I had to realize, yeah, we can relate. He probably can relate, but right now I'm leading, right? So it's not my job to take this and put it on you. This is not your who you gonna do with it, right? So just that balance, my education, it really has taught me a lot. And just to speak on that, like I never thought that I was going to get my master's in social work. I never thought that this would be my route. I wanted to be a full time rapper. Like I really wanted to be the next Lil Wayne, like next year. But I realized that my platform, I got to do more. You know, the music is good. It's a source that we can use. It's a tool.
yeah.
But I need like my education and social work. Social work has taught me so much about our people and how things go. Yeah, for sure.
No, I respect, and as a mother raising
Mm,
three sons who are super talented, but I'm always letting them know that like for one, Nas, great basketball player, great basketball. And whenever you try to give other options, it makes a child feel like, oh, what are you saying? I'm not going to make it. No, 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 not that. But I
mm.
respect the vision that you have. No, it's just making sure that you have a breath, that you can, have a knowledge of a wide array of things. And to your point, finish them. So I respect that level of thinking.
It's hard.
Fair, fair.
It's
Why do you say
hard
that? From your perspective, why do you say that?
because when you coming out and you like, I don't have no plan B. This is my plan A. I'm going hard for this. I'm the underdog. You know, that's the
That's real.
attitude that you want to have. And then, especially if your parent is like, well, what if you try college? You're like, no, I want to be a full time rapper. You're not hearing me. So it's like, it's got to be, you just got to let it come to you. Once you know, you know. And for me, I knew it came at a certain point in time. I'm looking at the music game. I'm like, wait, you got to do what to get where? I don't want to do that. And then it's like, to be honest, Miss Dion, like, we know the truth. Like, we know the truth that this stuff is not for us. You know what I mean? Like, we are meant to create. We are
Mm.
not meant to be controlled.
Ho!
Like football, all power to the Ravens, but we know what it really is.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Basketball, we know what it really is. All of this stuff, once you're able to capitalize off of it, they take away your freedom. And I didn't want that. I'm like, I want to be a community person. I want to be for my community. But it's hard because it's a sport. You know, as who we are with our culture, we put it out, we perform, we do this, we do that.
And
But then when
from
we
being from Baltimore, period. When you talk about grace, like it is, we're different. We're
yeah,
different.
but you
So
gotta be educated. You gotta be educated. You gotta be educated. You gotta be
receive.
educated.
Done.
I
Well, let
was
me ask.
never. This wasn't a hill that I used to want to die on, but this one I got to because it's like once I opened my eyes to social work, I was like, yo, they trying to kill us, and we don't even know. We don't even know they trying to kill us. But once you get your education, they say education is a passport to the future, and I really do believe that. But it's hard because then when we go back to that that
Then you
triangle,
go. Yep.
how
Mind
could
over
I
your
possibly
knees.
want to go to school if
I gotta eat. I
yeah.
hear you. Recognize. Let me ask you this because, again, I'm coming back, and this is so powerful because on one hand you talk about age is just a number, but to listen to you, and I have met so many young people in the city of Baltimore that I sit there and I'm like, let me take out my notepad. Let me lean in and listen. I want to know what's something people celebrate about you now that once made you feel different or dismissed before.
That's interesting. Because when I was a child, like a lot of times, like aside from the height, right? It's so interesting because I was talking to my mother. My mother used to say, you know, when you were younger, you used to always say, I'm small on the outside, but I'm big on the inside. And I believe that now. Like I believe it. Like when I stand next to somebody 6 feet tall, I feel 6 feet too. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe is that that Napoleon stuff?
No, no. So here's this is a conversation right here because real talk, that I was in the corporate side for over 20 years. Then I started my own company, right? But in the corporate, I wore heels. Heels. Like the Kanye before the Kanye, not this Kanye, the Kanye way back. But y'all wear suits because y'all can't dress no more. So
Right.
heels is all I wore. But now when I switched to sneakers, I recognize that when I walk into these same rooms, I'm smaller. Like I didn't recognize that by frame wise, by looking at me. Wait a minute, I am small in stature, but I don't feel that way at all. So I do understand the fact of the God within you, right? My God's bigger than anything out here. And when he's in you, the height goes out the window.
Yeah.
Because you're standing on something different. So because you're standing on purpose. You're
Yeah.
standing on mission. You're here for a reason and you recognize that. Do you feel that the young people in Baltimore know that? Like, I don't believe that everyone knows that, no, you were individually sent here to do something specifically based off of your gift. And if you don't, the whole thing is thrown off.
They have no idea. That's why we seeing what we seeing. They have no idea. They have no idea. Some of them might if they get to the top of that pyramid, but it's a climb. It's really only if you get to the top of that pyramid will you actually be like, wait, I have a purpose. I have a calling. Because when you're worried about where I'm gonna get shoes, where I'm gonna get food, how I'm gonna pay my phone bill, how I'm gonna help my mother's sick, how I'm gonna help my mother, like you can never truly say, let me draw something. Like let me freestyle on this beat and really speak from the heart. Not for money, just because I want to. Let me go downtown and give out some free cuts because I like helping young people. And God has blessed me enough where I can do that. Not everybody has that option. So it's hard because when I'm doing stuff like that, when I'm giving back and I'm pouring into my community, I'm like, oh snap, like I'm here for a reason. And that's when those divine interactions start happening and
Mhm.
then you're like, oh wow, like this is all orchestrated. But when you in that survival mode, everything feel like a setback. When you call them, how I'm gonna get food, how I'm gonna get to work, how am I, you don't got no time for creativity.
That's fair. That's fair. No, that's not only is it fair, it's humbling, and I think it puts the ownership back into the hands of versus just asking how you doing. Am I prepared to provide help? Am I able to provide resources? Am I able to provide the wraparound that's needed?
Yeah, yeah.
Young, where, where do you find those safes? I mean, if there was a HeartSmiles within every neighborhood, on every corner, every day, 24/7, that is not the case. How do we get there?
How do we get there? Being more intentional. We can cuss on here?
Yes.
Yo, being more intentional with these fucking funds for real, yo. Because it's like, and really vetting out these organizations, vetting them for real. Because the truth is, the issue don't even really come from like the grant funders or whatever. It's coming from the philanthropists because they want to see a certain thing. So the money falls down here. So then when it comes to the people who are actually doing the real work, they don't fit the criteria, right? So it's really where do we start? We got to be more intentional about asking young people what organizations helped you. How did they help you?
See,
B360, HeartSmiles, uh, we responders. Like I can think of about organizations who I see doing the work. I don't all of that shit on paper. It don't mean nothing. It's numbers. And they lie. They say numbers don't lie. Yes, they do. I see them lie.
understood. No, it's girl, you speaking my language because you have that quantitative data, but that qualitative, the story that's being told, and you can't get that story unless you are literally working with the organizations that are on the ground doing the work. If you're not, then you're trying to hide behind numbers because you're not doing the authentic work. So I do recognize that. When
Miss,
did that hit you?
yo, I'm gonna say this one time because I was a youth grant maker before, meaning I was partially responsible for choosing which organizations got which funding. And we did
Really?
a site visit one time, and I asked them like, "Oh, yo, what y'all eat for lunch?" They're like, "Yo, we having trouble getting the youth to come. We can't get them to come." I'm like, "Okay, well, first, what y'all eating around here? Because that's a good question." He like, "Yeah, we eat the school lunch." Well,
Nobody not trying to eat no
and
school.
then not even the hot stuff, the cold stuff.
Mm.
And I asked him, "You ready?" I said, "You eat it?" He said, "Oh no, I don't eat it." First of all, one thing Miss Joni always says, she said, "I'm not serving y'all nothing I wouldn't eat." Right?
Right.
I'm not serving y'all nothing I wouldn't eat. I don't even like getting my minty Takis. I wouldn't eat that.
Receive. No, I hear you.
So it's like we have to start treating our young people like we would treat ourselves. Like you
Hmm.
would treat the young people in your organization like they're your kids. Like this is a program that you would want your children in. Yo said I don't eat it. Okay. But this is
That's very
who's getting the money. And Miss Joni over here is scraping up coins trying. It's we have, like you said, that qualitative data. It mean a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We
I
need the
see.
story, and that's the problem, because the numbers equals the money, but
Right.
then the stories,
Mm.
they don't go as far.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know how many times I've been in room and they're like, "Okay, that's amazing. Where are your numbers?"
Okay.
Well, I told you what happened. We don't
Uh-huh.
care.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
care what happened.
Yeah. That's terrible, y'all. That is terrible. Young elder, I want to understand. Here it is. You have different platforms. You have different lanes: poetry, rapping, haircutting, the social work, the community. What are you trying to dismantle when you think about how the youth of not just Baltimore, just major urban cities across the United States of America, you've sat in these meetings, and I'd like to hear what what's being misrepresented, what's being misperceived when thinking about our youth. What aren't we getting that they're not getting?
Okay. First thought that comes to my mind when you say that would just be that success looks one way. You know, it's either college, trade school. It success, it has different waves. People have different versions of success. One young person might want to be one thing, because the thing is, yo, they making money off the gaming.
They
Some
are.
of these kids really want to be gamers. That's what they really want to do. Put the fire behind that. It doesn't matter, because let's say they want to be a gamer. Cool. When I wanted to be a rapper, people supported me. When I said I wanted to be something else, people supported me. So allowing young people to touch and discover and fail and perform
Mhm.
and embarrass themselves
Mhm.
and perform and feel that great energy and get that love. It's a balance, right? You got to have some shows where you get zero applause, and then you had to have some shows that you get all your flowers. It builds character development. And I would have to say, like, just allowing young people to try it. Oh, you don't like it? Cool. Next. But you gotta finish.
That's the
Try
part.
it, finish, be done with it.
But you just said, and I love how you're bringing it all together, because you started off this conversation with finish.
Right.
You just entered the other F word of fail. So
Mm.
as a human experience, allow me to try, to fail, and to try again and finish.
Let me tell
But
you something.
you have it. Keep going. Yes.
You asked me, am I pursuing my master's or do I have my master's? Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
on May 29th, I graduated from the University of Maryland, Baltimore. And then on June 2nd, I got an email saying, you, in fact, Miss Girl, failed that class, Miss Girl. Yeah, you failed that class, and you missed another class that you were supposed to take as well. So go ahead and bring that ass back here,
Yeah.
right? But I was faced with a decision. I could, hey, I ain't doing this no more,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
cause I can. You know what? Forget y'all. Forget the time I put in. Forget all that. Forget that dream, new dream. But faith isn't until it don't work
Whoo!
and still go. So yeah, yeah. I was faced with a challenge. So yeah, I failed the class. That's what they told me. And I'm like, I don't fail nothing. Yeah, I failed it. For sure. Failed it. But I have a decision. I have a decision. You going This is what I want. My dream is, I want to have a barbershop or wellness center where the barbers and the hairstylists are licensed social workers. Meaning, you're coming to get your hair cut and your hair done, but there is someone that is licensed with the skills and the practice in order to help you with your mental health. And then this is where it really gets crazy, because I wanted to be free, right? Because then when we thinking about that needs, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to be free. I want people to say, I'm about to go get my hair cut. I'm really about to go see my therapist. and I'm about to do it for free. And people always ask me, well, how are you going to do that? Mind your business. You feel me? I'm on a
No,
different
wait,
I'm on a
wait.
different wavelength. You feel me?
While I have you here, because what I don't want anyone that's listening, don't mind your business. We got to make this work. So, what
Mm.
do we,
Hmm.
the reason that
Don't
we
mind your
even have
business. I
this
like that.
conversation, and the thing is, and the thing, Dion, keep it together because it's the Baltimore part, right? I can feel that energy of when you say mind your business, it's from the standpoint of I'm going to do this, whether you question me about it or not. That's where you're standing. For hashtag my be more, it's the fact I'm saying stop fucking minding your business
And come over
and
here
take
and
the
mind mine.
action, yes,
Yeah.
to help her move her
Yes.
business. Because in any reality, whether you're getting your hair cut, style, whatever, that is therapy. My nail technician, that is therapy, right? So
Imagine all of that in one space for free for people in Baltimore who need it the most. I promise you, crime rate gonna go down. I promise you, drug use gonna go down because people gonna feel good, and it's not gonna be in Canton. You know what I mean? It's gonna be in Park Heights. It's gonna be on Liberty Heights. It's gonna be on Penn North. Matter of fact, we can just move Enoch and we can put it right there. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be in the heart of the city. Nobody is gonna be no excuses to
or
why.
partner with Enoch Pratt and we go ahead and get the booths and stuff inside of the library because people are coming there anyway. Let's start thinking. So when we talk about
Let's meet
social,
them where they are.
meet them where they are. So first, even though this is what happens at the end of the call, I want to do this plug right now. First, give me your Cash App. Give me the website for the donations. How do people get in contact with you, Jaela, so that we can help you pursue this to keep. How do I financially support
Yes.
you?
Okay.
Everyone is listening. Tell us.
For one, I have to say that the support that comes way more than finances and monetary. That is great, but right now, like it's more so resources and getting connected because I need to get my barber's license. I'm looking for an apprenticeship where I can get my barber's license because I have my license in social work, but I need my barber's license in order to actually be hands on the ground for the community because when you cutting with no license, you a liability, buddy. You know what I mean? So I need to get certified so that I can do that. So if anybody know any barbers that's looking for an apprentice, looking for because I have my own studio. We're actually in the shop right now,
Yep.
and I'm gonna show y'all a little bit.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
where we cut hair right there, and then I'm sitting right here,
Yep. Yep.
and this is the space, and I'm trying to figure out. I've been doing a little bit of research, but of course prayer as well. But I need those resources, and then also if there's any barbers out there who are interested in becoming social workers or any social workers out there who would like to learn to cut hair, I'm trying to build a team, you know? And it's so crazy because people have asked me, they're like, well, what you gonna do? You gonna have to have a barber that don't want to be a social worker. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. I need a team, you know? I need a team of people who see the vision and then the monetary gonna come in. But if anybody did just say, you know what, let me bless this little girl. I have Apple Pay. My phone number is 443-780-5555. I don't have Cash App. I also have Zelle, and then that would be the number for the Zelle too. And any money or any monetary thing that is sent, I just want you to know that it is going to be poured back and it is going to be used with a purpose. You don't even have to second think
So
about
let me just tell you, my mother, who watches these religiously, will definitely be sending you something. So go ahead, mommy. I already know.
it.
No, that's
Thank
happening.
you, Ma. I appreciate you in advance. Thank you so much. You know,
But
and it's so crazy because I live off this. Two things. You know, one thing, you know, you have the dream and God will fund the dream. And then the second thing is, you know, I think about the story just recently of the God who has sent this man to this woman and her son, right? And he asked the woman, he said, feed this man. And the woman was like, I only have enough for me and my son to eat today. And God was like, no, feed this man and I will take care of you. and she fed the man, and her son had enough food for the rest of forever, you know. So it's like you had to be obedient, and I feel this as my calling, and this, you know, I finally reached the top of the pyramid, and this is my calling. So I believe that. And the thing is, Miss Dion, this might not even haircutting might not even be the last destination,
I
right?
hear.
At some point I might say, you know what, I want to finish this and I want to do something else. I want to be a politician, or I want to be who knows, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But
Mm-hmm.
this is part of it. This is a part of my catalyst to, like you said, go against that generational trauma, do healing, you know, help the people in my community, and actually see some change happen for real.
So I had questions in mind about mental health and what the misperceptions are, but you've already addressed. Let me rephrase.
Mhm.
Jaela, when you have a young person sitting in your chair, can you explain to me what that transformation looks like when they come through the door versus when they sit down versus what they leave? What does that process look like? How do you see that mental health process journey evolve from the moment I walk in, sit down, get up, and leave?
Cool, I want to start here. It's not linear. It don't work like that.
Hit me.
Yeah, it's not boom, 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 boom. I have a kid come in, he don't say a word, quiet the whole appointment. At the end, I might get a smile, I might not. He come back. What's up, yo? You know, that rapport, that trust is built over time. It's not microwave rapport. It's not real. So over time, like I had a kid, I told him, I said, look, you don't have to talk. As long as you smile when the cut is done, I'm pleased. You know, just building that rapport, letting them know that you care. Yo,
I
what you
hear.
want to listen to? Oh, all right. How's school? If they want to talk about school, let them talk about school. If they don't want to talk about school, don't talk about school. You know, and one thing I did notice is that appointments are better when the parents are not here, because parents control. They control your emotions, they control what you say, they control how you feel. But when you're alone, and it's just you and that person, and you able to open up, and because mind you, you know me, but you don't know me like that, so you feel more comfortable to say something, if you know,
I
because
hear.
I'm just your barber, but I'm your barber, you know. I
I
have
hear.
this one client, the mother, she comes every week. Mind you, you're supposed to get a haircut every 2 weeks. She said, this is where he likes to come get his haircut. He won't let nobody else cut his hair. I need you. She keep me open. She keep
I
me
hear.
running.
No, man, there is nothing that I love more that wow, that correction, being able to get that different lens, because even as a parent,
Hmm.
I recognize the difference of when I'm there versus when I'm not. And also this understanding of you always want your for as a parent, if you're going to go out and do something wrong, right? I'd
Mm.
rather you be
You tell
pissed.
somebody.
Yeah, right. That you're talking, because if it's are we building a tribe? What does that community look like? And you just gave the definition of what building trust looks like. It is consistency over time.
Yes. So one day, if that kid is feeling like, yo, like I don't feel safe, or I don't want to be here no more, right? Because kids have those feelings. They all do. Every single one of them. Whether it's strong, whether it's light, it comes. If you lucky, it's fast, right? And it don't really touch you. But kids have these moments where they are low, they don't know what to do. Because bullying, like whether you in 2001 or you in 2025, you're gonna get bullied, okay?
Yeah,
They're gonna
yeah,
call you gay, okay? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
these
yeah,
things are gonna happen. But kids
yeah.
need to have a place where it's safe, and they trust who they talking to, you know? Yeah.
Let me ask you, as we wind down, one, I always want to
I'm listening.
So,
I'm gonna grab the charger.
yes, yes. All right. So while she's grabbing the charger, what haven't you said out loud yet
Okay.
that your spirit wants you to speak to now? So as you're getting your charges, like, you know what? I'm about to wrap up with Dion. Let's say that everyone is looking right now. What's on your spirit? And let's be real. Before we even started this call, for everyone that's listening, Young Elder and I were both on the same wavelength that heaviness can hit you. The heaviness can hit you to a point where you don't want to move. You can have all this purpose, all this drive. But once you recognize that that is the devil whispering because you're on to something and he's trying to keep you back, that becomes your motivation to just give the middle finger to him that I'm getting up. So anything that you want to impart to a young person listening or to a parent, the parent of a young person, help us, help us help ourselves to be better.
Honestly, I would have to speak. I'm not sure how this will help somebody else. Hopefully it can. Speaking from my current moment right now, um, my foundation has been shaken. Um, on Monday, my foundation, it was shaken very, very hard. I found out that my mentor, Miss Joni, was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. And I'm like, what? You know, my world is it's all over the place. But I'm trying to maintain my peace. I'm trying to maintain my joy, and I'm trying to maintain my positive attitude, and also just digging deep on my purpose. My purpose is gonna keep me grounded, and I don't know what's going on, but my trust for God is activated. And then also right now I'm just thinking about Miss Joni made me who I am. She helped me become who I am. So I am okay. The same strength that she has, that she's fighting through this, I have that same strength. So even though I'm gonna impart this, yo, be nice to people, bruh. You don't know what people be going through. Like, you
That
don't know
part,
what people be going through. People go through battles every single day. You have no idea what somebody is going through. So if I had to impart anything, I would say be nice. Be nice. Be kind. When you ask somebody how they doing, listen to what they say. And if they sound like they being automatic, check them. How you doing? I'm all right. You sure? How you doing? How you doing? No, when somebody say how you doing and they answer with how you doing, no, like how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And take a minute and be there, be present. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Jaela, Young Elder Morris, this is not the last conversation that we will have, but I am thankful that it's a conversation that we have had.
Mm. Yes.
Man, if you don't love Baltimore, I don't know what is wrong with you, because this type of heart, this type of God's work that's being done by everyday people doing extraordinary works is amazing. And I wanted to let you know I'm sending my love, my prayers. I'm going to reach out to Miss Mitchell. We're going to have a conversation, and whatever support resources that we can continue to pour and direct your way and hers and others that are on the ground. You've mentioned others. We responders, B360, going to keep shouting them out. Thank you for being here with me today. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for what you do in Baltimore. Thank you.
I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. Even if it means you gotta leave me, and you don't wanna be baby. Look, baby, I'm straight. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great.